Welcome back to the next room. It is always a good day when I wake up, open up my eyes, and I lay in bed and I think, wow, okay, a new day. I'm on this side. I'm still in my human body, and I give thanks and I run down my little list of things that I'm grateful for. And that is how I start my morning. Before I hop out of bed, before I start letting the busyness or the coffee take a hold, or social media grab me, I like to spend a moment in mindfulness about gratitude and about how fortunate I am to be able to do what I love. And what I love is connecting with interesting people and kind of peeling back the layers of this life experience that we have and what is next. What is next is huge for me. And it's not that I don't love what's going on this side, but I'm fascinated because in what I've been shown is life just continues to go on and on and on. This is just one portion of the program. You are in for such a treat today. First, a little business. Thank you to all the listeners. My goodness, the countries that are listening right now. We have, let's see, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, England, the UK, tons of Canadian. I don't know if I said that. Canada, lots of listeners in Canada. Of course, the United States, Ireland, even, South Africa. That was a new one that came in. So every time when I open up the back end of the podcast and I'm able to see where the listeners are coming from, it just gives me such great warm and fuzzy feelings that I'm connecting with all of you. So thank you so much. If there is someone that you would like me to interview, by all means, just email me, the next room with Jane at Gmail. Please sign up for my new YouTube channel. It's the next room with Jane. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We have a wonderful community there. And just thank you. Thank you for the book sales. Thank you for, the great reviews that I'm getting. And I'm just very grateful to be able to be here in front of you today, and with interesting people like my guest. My guest is Joelle Simone Maldonado, aka the Grave Woman. Welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
Jane, any day I get to chat with you is a great day. And thank you for having me. And I have to say, I love you in a red lip.
Oh, it's for you.
Thank you. And I am holding my amethyst crystal purple in honor of you because I know
love
that.
that. That is my color. I love that. Good. Anytime you bring your crystal, I should grab one of mine. I have a whole stack of them up there. Joelle, you and I met when we connected through the Beautiful Dying Expo, and immediately there was this moment of you, like I recognized you. I saw your spirit. I saw you for who you were and who you are now. And there was this lovely connection between the two of us. And we knew somehow, somewhere, we were going to work together. And lo and behold, here it is a couple years later. And we're going to tell you all about a cool course that we've designed together that we're going to launch in 2023. You can sign up for it now, but we'll give you all that information and the links and all that. I would love you to tell the story about when you were 8 years old and you drew a picture, and your grandmother, I believe, reminded you of this picture. That will set the tone. Oh, and first, I didn't even say, you are a licensed funeral director. You are a grief practitioner. You're a sacred life death practitioner. I mean, you just are in that world, and well educated, and also a public figure. People love you. They find you on YouTube and you light them up. So thank you for taking the time. So tell us about the picture you drew when you were 8.
Awesome. Thank you for all of that. The picture. So honestly, Jane, I don't remember drawing this picture. Let me just say that. I spent so much time in this house that I live in now, which is the house my grandparents built 50 years ago. And I spent time with my Nani, who's my mom's mom, my grandma. And Nani was an educator. So we didn't have summers in front of the TV or summers, just lagging off. Our summers were full of what we call nanny camp, where we would draw, we'd go outside in her massive yard and pick pine cones for art projects, or just do something creative every day. I believe in my heart of heart that my grandmother is an artist at heart. And one thing that she realized is that I love to draw. And my pictures would be what I now refer to as self-fulfilling prophecy. So obviously I drew this picture you're referring to of me standing in a graveyard in front of a microphone, speaking to the graves. And in my 8-year-old scratchy handwriting, I had written, "I am the grave woman." And we talked about red lips. I had these big red lips. I had on a purple suit, and I'm in the cemetery with this microphone, pouring my heart out to these grave markers. So fast forward to the year 2000 and I believe 11, 2012-ish. I'm wrapping up my education in mortuary school, and my sister comes over to my apartment. We're going through these boxes that I have that I need to clear out, that I've had since I'd moved away to go to college. And she finds this scrapbook that my grandmother made as a graduation present for me when I graduated high school. And my sister turned to the second page of the book, and that picture was there with a note from my nanny that said, "I love you."
Man.
And the amazing part about that, Jane, the part that when I talk about it, it gives me chills, and it kind of, it just makes me know that what you're saying about the next room is so real, is that I had started a blog in mortuary school called The Grave Woman, having no recollection of drawing this picture when I was 8 years old. And so it was like I had become whatever it was I saw in my mind, whatever it was my guides were telling me, whatever it was my spirit and my ancestors were leading me towards. I had become that. And I drew it when I was 8 years old.
Boy, doesn't it just show you how deeply we are connected with our ancestors and with the path that you were on? And yet, here you are, this 8-year-old child, and you're drawing this manifestation of what you are now, because you are well known as the grave woman now. It is who you are and who you've become. But yet you knew that as a child, that's where you were going. Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
It's kind of, I don't want to use the word creepy. What it is it's awesome. It's literally awesome.
I can see, though, you say creepy. I could see where an occurrence like that would frighten someone, where they would
Yes.
go, "Oh, what's going on here? This is weird," But you and I both have been in this realm of digging deeper, and discovering more, and deciding that we are not going to fear whatever it is. This life experience is beautiful, and so on and so forth, and so is the next. Do you feel as though you have ancestor spirit guides, or are there people that you may not know, or that you do know of, that you feel are embedded and that are helping guide you now?
That is so funny that you asked that question. I do readings on myself every morning using oracle cards. Well, let me not say every morning. I've been intentional about doing it for the past month, going into this month. And today, my reading was about the fact that my ancestors are within, and around me. And the affirmation for that card was, "I am my sister. My sister is me." Now, that held significance to me because I literally just got back from my sister's house yesterday, and we were having a conversation. We saw my uncle in the form of flags on a truck similar flags that were on his hearse as we buried him. I mean, there's just so many connections. So to answer your questions, I know 100% that I am my lineage. I am my ancestors. I am my predecessors, and they are me. I know for a fact that I have guides that may not be in my direct blood lineage, but that are cosmically aligned with my purpose, with my protection, with my well being, with my hopes, my prayers, my desires, that are working on my behalf, beknownst and unbeknownst to me. Whether you call them angels, higher self, spirit guides, ancestors. I don't even know if I know a word to articulate what these beings are, but I feel them. I see them. I see them in the trees, the grass, the water, the elements. Like, I don't know what the name is for it, Jane, but I know we're all connected to this. It's not just me. I'm not special in this. But I think that we're maybe sometimes not aware of them because of things like religion or fear or just not being ready to be open yet. But I know that they make life a lot better.
Oh, this
And
is
I
good.
believe they're all God at the same time. They are they are those things, but they are all God. And because God is all of those things, God is also within me.
Okay, we have a lot to unpack because I'm writing little notes down here. So I want to cover your routine. I want to cover signs, and I want to uncover how to move forward. So let's go back to you said you have a morning routine, or that you have an intention and you've been very intentional about it. Just kind of walk me through what Simone Maldonado, the grave woman, does in the morning to get aligned with spirit.
So the first thing is that I wake up, and like you said, I express gratitude. I felt that in my heart when you were talking about gratitude. And most of the time, my husband is sitting there looking at me because he's already been up, and our dog may be cuddled in the bed between us. So she's waking up and moving around. And we don't always do it in bed, but we start almost every morning. We try to be intentional about it with a form of devotion, which includes prayer, affirmations that we say to one another. I love you. We're going to be successful today. Today is going to be a great day. We're going to be blessed today. You know, we're going to be a blessing to others today. And we repeat those to one another 3 or 4 times each. Maybe we exchange 2 or 3. We pray together, and he goes in and starts his thing, and I go on and start my thing. With the last lunar eclipse that we had, not this month, but last month in November, I had come across an oracle deck that I didn't know I needed. And in the instructions for the deck, she suggested spending a moon cycle with the cards, getting to know each one of the cards, doing readings on yourself. And I did that, Jane. And for me, an oracle deck is almost like confirmation of what I already know in my spirit as far as direction and guidance. But it really instilled in me the discipline of being intentional about connecting with spirit first thing in the morning. After I get my husband out the door, after the dog has been taken out for her walk and she's settled, I sat down at my dining room table, or I sit down at my dining room table and I do my reading, I journal, and I write out my affirmations three times each. And that discipline is well as long, no, I'm sorry, as an accompaniment with my prayer and, you know, reading my Bible sometimes, or just having that one-on-one time with spirit and God, has been very influential in my connection to my guides, my spirits, my ancestors. And from there, I just go on about my day, thinking about what that reading was, what that card was, and keeping that kind of in the forefront of my mind as I navigate throughout the day.
I love that. And that leans into the next question, your ancestral signs. Are
Mm.
you getting concrete signs from those that have gone before? And if so, would you share with us what those are?
I get and have been receiving signs, Jane, as long as I can remember. I tell people all the time the trees talk to me, the birds talk to me. I think I shared with you that I've had the clouds give me messages. And one that always tickles me, I almost sent a picture of it to you the other day. I saw a dog in soap bubbles in the shower. I get soap bubble messages. And to me, what they are is not so much do this, don't do that, go this way, not that way, even though sometimes they are. What they are gentle reminders that we're here, we're with you. My house is huge, and I spend a lot of time in it alone. And not that I'm afraid that anything's going to happen to me, but I'm so used to being in a 1-bedroom apartment that this is overwhelming for me, right? And the other day, my husband was out of town. My grandmother was staying with me, but she had gone out to a social event. And I was in the house alone at night, pretty late, which had never happened before since we moved here in May, right? And I just said out loud, Granddaddy and Uncle Mark, who are my grandfather and uncle, who both lived in this house for years and who have both transitioned, I don't want to be afraid in here. I know this is my home. And I don't feel 100% comfortable yet being in here alone at night, but I know you would never let anything happen to me. And I know even though I can't see you, you're not in this realm anymore, you're here. Jane, I went and sat down to turn on the TV. And, on smart TVs now, especially Roku TVs, there are messages that come up
Right.
when you turn the TV on. You are not alone. I don't know if it was a TV show, a movie, I don't know what it was, but I had literally said out loud, I'm not comfortable being alone.
Wow.
They responded through the TV to let me know that they were not alone. Or, I'm sorry, that I was not alone and that they were here.
Mm,
I
I
mean, I
love
could
that.
go on. Even something as simple as this morning going outside to take the dog out and walk my husband Lawrence outside, the wind is blowing this way. I'm sorry, I don't know whether that's east or west. And I said to myself, this is the moving out of the old and the bringing in of the new. Something amazing and new is going to happen today. And as I shared with you earlier, I'm in such a great mood. I just got off of an interview with a great opportunity that I was not expecting. The moving of the old, the coming in of the new, the wind carrying the leaves a certain direction. So many signs. And for me, it's not just about the signs, it's about the culture. That's a really big part of my Gullah and Geechee heritage. We believe in reading the skies, reading the trees, reading the wind, reading the elements, listening for the ancestors' whisper, which isn't always auditory, but sometimes visual. Sometimes it's a feeling, sometimes it's a thought, even thoughts. Sometimes you have ideas about businesses or a blog or a book, and it seems like it's crazy, but those are your guides directing you and giving you messages. And when you act on one part, you'll get confirmation in the smallest ways that are unique and individual to you. So, I mean, I could go on and on about that.
No, it's beautiful because that was part 3 of that 3-part question was how I'm listening to you. And I just get such a depth of warmth from you and sincerity and authenticity when you're speaking. Like I just feel so connected. And I know that if I'm feeling like that, so are all of my listeners for the next room. So that was the 3rd part was how, if I'm listening, do I get there? How do I experience the grave woman tingle? How do I find that within me? So let's talk a little bit more in depth about if I'm listening and say I'm in Perth or I'm in Melbourne, Australia, or Sydney, which have a lot of listeners down in Australia, and they reach out all the time and they're thinking, well, how do I get there? What would you recommend?
Ask.
Mm,
That's it. There's nothing fancy to go along with it. Ask.
ask, as my dad would say, ta-da. I love that. That's beautiful. I am just so pleased that you're here. And I love that we have crossed paths and we've come together. because you and I are both so deeply involved with other life, or people call it afterlife, or what comes next on our journey, right? Once we're through with this earthly vessel and we move on, both of us are very tuned in, and we love to connect on a deeper level with those that have gone before us, ancestors, guides, parents, siblings, best friends, whatever it may be. Let's talk about Align, because this is something that I think you initially had said, maybe we should do a course together. And I'm like, I don't know anything about that. And you're like, well, fortunately, I do. I put together all these great courses, which you can find everything that you've ever wanted to know about Joelle at thegravewoman.com. Huge presence on social media. You can find her anywhere. You had said that. And at the time, I just couldn't see it because I had never done that. I'm a communicator. I've been on the radio for the better part of 40 years. I've written a book. I have all these little creative pockets, but teaching a course was never one of them. However, people in the last year and a half have said, you should teach a course. You know what? Have you ever thought about doing a course? And the whole time I'm like, no, I don't know how. And then voila, here you are. And you brought it up and said, me, we should do something together. And we are. We are launching Align, which is going to be February 17th, 2023. In case you're wondering if this is an old podcast, it's not. It's fresh. It's December of 2022. And in that, what we would like to do is share our level of knowledge and what we've come to understand about asking, about listening, about connecting with those that have gone before us, and how we go about doing it. So let's talk about Align.
Definitely. And before I do that, I just want to say, Jane, you're a natural teacher. You're a natural educator. Your ability to communicate is what makes you a teacher. I've learned so much from you just from connecting with you online. But Align is an acronym for asking, listening, and seeking guidance from the next room. I'm sorry, asking, listening, and inviting guidance from the next room. And basically, what we're going to be doing during this workshop, I like to refer to this as a workshop, because though we're providing information, it's the participant's job to soak it up and do the work. And we're going to be working hand in hand, holding hands and moving forward together. So we're going to be working together to teach others to communicate. I think the last time that we talked about this, we realized that it is designed for those that are trying to connect with those that have passed away. But on a deeper level, it's teaching us to communicate spirit to spirit. And spirit doesn't just exist in this realm. It exists in the next room, the next realm, the next layer, whatever it is that you want to refer to it as. And we're going to be talking about how to ask, how to receive guidance, what you're listening for, and how do you invite that guidance. And I think the biggest thing that we're going to be doing, as you said during our last chat, Jane, is we're going to be giving people permission to believe that they can, they do, and that they in fact have been aligning with the next room, perhaps like me, their whole lives.
Right. I think too, what's really important about this is it is that permission side of things, but it's also having a community that can come together, that will support one another, and you will feel safe. You will feel seen, you will feel heard, and there is going to be a safety net of information for you and a place for you to gather and connect with other people within the group if you choose to dive deeper with it. Or if you care to work with Joelle and I, we will do some one-on-one with you as well, or two-on-one. And that's the fun part about it, is creating a very beautiful, loving, safe community. Because what I'm hearing a lot lately, and I just got another email yesterday from an old high school friend who said that he knows he's connecting with his loved ones that have gone before him, but he doesn't have anywhere to talk about it. He doesn't know where he can take it. He doesn't want to be thought of as kooky or
Mhm.
flipping his dome doily, as my mother would say. And so I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to send him a link to the course, because then he can come in to a safe space with the two of us and work with us. And it's super reasonably priced. It's very inexpensive, but you will get more than just a session with us. We're going to have prompts for you. We're going to have meditation practices for you. We'll have cool things that you can download. And we are going to create a lovely, I don't know, afterlife community or aligned community for you to be part of for years to come if you so choose to. So, super excited about it. Let's tell them how they can find the course. I can't believe we're almost done. We're almost at the end of this half hour. It went so fast. What's the best way for them to sign up for Align?
Definitely the easiest way is to visit www.thegravewoman.com, click on courses, and Align will be the course at the top. It's a door that's positioned in the universe. And it looks very similar to Jane's background that you're looking at right now, or that you're familiar with from seeing her photo online. And yeah, I know Jane will have links to everything down below, but if you're listening, www.thegravewoman.com, click on courses, and it'll be the first thing to pop up.
I love it. I will. I'll put everything. If you're watching this or you're, listening to it on the radio podcast, there's a paragraph and it will have all the links in there as well. And I'll click on it. And I have one on my website too. So if you go to my website, you'll see it, but it's going to reroute you over to the Grave Woman, so that you can sign up and join us. So that is February 17th. It's great because my beautiful friend and I are both Pisces. We decided to be mindful about when we launched this course. It's a few days before my birthday and just a week before hers. And so we feel really good about this. And we don't even know where it's going to take us as two people who love one another, respect one another, and are now forging a connection to work together to help other people get, I don't know, more of a clarity of connection, I guess, is the way that I would put it. So we're just so pleased. If you want to join us, please do. And the Grave Woman, you can find out, go check out her YouTube channel. Every time she uploads a video, people chime in and they just love her warmth and what she is there and talking about. And she's stirring some things up in her funeral industry, which is a good thing. She's making good trouble all over the place. And I absolutely love and appreciate her for what she is doing. She chose to be here at this time because she knew it was a time of great change. And she is an educator. And that is why she is here today with me. So I am so grateful to you, Joelle. Joelle Simone Maldonado, newly married. Happy anniversary. I know you're coming up on your first anniversary. Any special plans?
We're going on a cruise.
Yeah, right on. Oh, cruises are so fun. You're away from, I mean, seriously, stay out of the little place where you can go hook up to the internet, because there's something so freeing about no phones, no internet, no social media. You're just in that moment, and the food is good and the sights are beautiful. And there's something empowering about being out on the water, away from it all.
Yes.
So soak it all up. Okay, we're almost finished of the next room with the Grave Woman and myself. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you'd love to add, or any final words that you'd like to leave with the next room listeners?
Definitely. Thank you to you, Jane, and for all the work that you're doing. I know how scary it is to fully embrace who you are and to give it to the world unapologetically. But I just want to close by saying that we both have the intention of operating in the light. We live in a world of duality where there is light and dark, and I just want to be very clear that we're operating in the light, the good, the highest good for all. And so don't let what I call your conditioning, your fears, your apprehensions stop you from receiving this beautiful gift, because that's what our intention is to open you up to the gift of being in alignment through a line.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much for joining me. You've been listening to The Next Room. The Next Room is my podcast going on 4 years now. It's where death is dinner conversation. And of course, you all know how much I love to chat about the afterlife. My beautiful guest today, the Grave Woman, Joelle Simone Maldonado. You can find her at thegravewoman.com. And please, by all means, explore Align with us. If it sounds intriguing to you, at least go see what it's all about and what comes with the package. It's going to be on February 17th. 2023, and we'd love you to join us and join our Align community. Thank you so much for listening to The Next Room. I will be back in a couple weeks with another fascinating guest for you, and I appreciate all of you for the wonderful reviews and just for being here and being part of this community. And thank you, Joelle, for saying what you just said about the light. We are here to spread our light, and that is our choice. So thanks again for coming into The Next Room.